hit to the gun registry, and the policeman doing it doesn't even know about it.
It's called the CPIC system.
Yeah, the CPIC system. It's their computer system.
Yeah.
And so it clicks the gun registry, and it counts as a hit towards it. And the policeman is no more interested in that information than the man in the moon. I mean, that's how absurd that statistic is. It's probably in the neighborhood of a couple dozen times a day somebody might actually be, you know, wanting some information from the gun registry. A policeman on the street, you know. So that's something that is as an absurd claim, because the policemen are not. And I've talked to, in my home province of Saskatchewan, I've talked to the RCMP officers. In fact, there's a staff sergeant who will tell his people when they come on, do not consult the gun registry. You're putting your life at risk. If you go to a dwelling thinking that there's guns there or there's not guns there, it could actually do more harm than good. So it's really not a tool the police find at all effective. You'll also have the chiefs of police saying, you know, we support the gun registry. The Toronto Star reported a few months ago that the ethics officer that worked with the chiefs of police resigned over this issue. He said that because they get so much funding from their organization, from CGI, the computer company that provides all of the hardware and software for the gun registry, that it was really very unethical for them to come out on it with a stand like this, because they're a non-profit organization and they were getting big funding. And I mean, they were getting Salon Dion tickets for their wives, and they were getting all kinds of benefits from this computer company. So he just blew the whistle on it.
Follow the money.
Oh yeah, and he was, I admire the guy for resigning over an issue like this.
Yeah.
But you know, that may explain some of the things that maybe don't make sense to gun owners.
Yeah, no, you've done so much work on this, and when you were referring to the access to information requests, sir, my hat, tip of the hat, salute to you, sir. That is a lot of work. You've also put forward the idea of tax reform, and when you were first elected, you talked about you know, people's tax dollars, how they'd be used to fund programs they found objectionable. Question for you: do you think government's grown too large? I mean, what you fought as a battle on the registry is I think, a macro example of that, or a micro example of that. But on a macro level, you know, is government gone too big?
Generally, I think we need to do in all of government what I think we should do with the gun registry. Have the Auditor General take a close look at it, and if it's not meeting the original goals that were claimed for the system, that it should be scrapped. I mean, that the Auditor General confirmed that what I was saying through all the access to information requests that I had put in, that yes, this was $1 billion, and there was really not a cost-effective objective that was being met because of this. I think that review should go through all the departments, and I think we put in place programs maybe that originally might have been useful and now need a real serious review. Do I think government needs to be downsized? Absolutely. I really would like to see us, you know, and I think the Prime Minister, in all fairness to him, would like to see the same thing. He has said we have to start looking for efficiencies. That's code words for reducing the size of government, the size of the bureaucracy. And people don't realize that this may be to their benefit, because then we can continue to deliver some of the programs that they take for granted, pensions, healthcare, that kind of thing, if we start looking for savings in some of the departments where the benefit to us is no longer there.
Yeah, it reminds me, there was a debate that came up yesterday with regard to the regulations that restrict broadcasters commenting on elections. And I thought it was fascinating that there was a debate on that when the laws that were put in place in 1938, how do they have applicability today when the internet and all these types of things make it so easy to access the results of elections?
Yes.
You know, during the, anyhow.
Right.
So I digress. But you've been a big advocate of entrenching property rights in the Canadian Charter of Freedoms. And Canada's founding fathers, you know, spoke of peace, order, and good government. The American founding fathers were bolder when they talked about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I would go so far as to say that Thomas Jefferson preferred the pursuit of private property even over happiness. But what are your thoughts on property rights?
property rights are absolutely fundamental and essential in a free and democratic society. It's simply that. And when Pierre Trudeau